So there are going to be a few changes to the story. In Midoriya, Deku's mom is going to be the number 3 hero, and she's going to have an ice quirk in place of Ray, because Ray is not going to exist in this what-if. And Endeavor and her got married because they both wanted to surpass All Might, but realized that they are too weak. Also, Endeavor's daughter Fumi won't exist, and Natsuo and Toya are going to be twins. So this means that they're both going to have the same quirk, and all of Endeavor's children are going to be arrogant, since they were blessed with good quirks, and Endeavor is going to be more doting. Yeah, and when Endeavor was training Natsuo and Toya on how to use their fire quirks, he got them cryogenic freezers. So basically, a cryogenic freezer is where cells or whole cell tissues are preserved by cooling to sub-zero temperatures. So Dabi, aka Toya, is not going to exist, because with the cryogenic freezers, it's basically going to keep their bodies cool constantly, so they don't burn themselves due to the backlash of their quirks, which is going to keep their bodies frozen all day, so they have to use their quirks all day to warm themselves up, strengthening their quirks and building up a natural resistance to their own flames. Now to Deku and Todoroki. When Deku and Todoroki were born, they both had crystal white hair and blue eyes. Blue eyes like their older brothers. Endeavor would allow them to play, but he would also make them do some light physical training, because their quirks had not yet awakened. When it was time for Todoroki and Izuku to awaken the quirks, they were taken to the quirk doctor. After running some tests, the doctor said Shota's quirk is absolute 0, and Deku's quirk is absolute hot. Absolute hot is the hottest temperature, and absolute 0 is the coldest temperature. Izuku's ability will consist of being able to manipulate and control his pure white flames, but also the ability to control other people's flames. He will also be able to ignite his flames from dry substances, and after mastering his quirk, he will be able to create fire out of thin air, rather than an extension from his body. And Todoroki's abilities consist of being able to manipulate his pure white ice, but also other liquids, and turn them into ice. He will also be able to change the degree of liquids and his ice, and after mastering his ability, he will be able to create it out of thin air, because theoretically that is possible. Both of them have perfect bodies for their quirks. Deku has an absolute hot body, and Todoroki has an absolute cool body. This will cause them to be impervious to their elements, so they won't feel the effects of overusing their quirks. The only downside will be the major loss of stamina. So to combat this, Deku and Todoroki are going to be much more afraid in this what-if, since they're going to need more stamina to use their quirks. Now, to the start of the anime. Deku and Todoroki are going on a jog when Deku says, "Can we stop real quick?" "What, tired already?" says Todoroki with a smile. No, I just need to tie my shoes," said Deku. "Yeah, sure, catch up with me when you're done," said Todoroki. "Okay," said Deku. The sludge villain, after running from All Might, comes across Deku while he's trying to tie his shoes. "Give me your body, human," says the sludge villain as it jumps Deku and wraps around his legs. Deku immediately burns the ground, including the surrounding area. Suddenly, a large poof can be heard as All Might descends and creates a tiny crater in the ground and says, "Fear not, for I am here." Where's the sludge villain? "Oh, I took care of him," said Deku. "You know, just doing your job." "Well then, young man, good job. But why are your shoes burnt?" "My shoes? What do you—" As Deku looks down, he realizes he burnt his shoes. "God damn it, I just bought these," says Deku as he grabs his shoes and blasts off towards Todoroki. As Izuku catches up with Todoroki, Todoroki says, "What took you so long, and what happened to your shoes?" "I burned them because a goddamn villain tried to attack me." "What'd you do to the villain?" "I killed him, of course," said Deku and Todoroki as they arrived home. Okay, I'm gonna change the story again. So there won't be 10 months for Izuku and Todoroki to train for the entrance exam because they're already powerful enough as is, and I don't really want them to get that strong right now. And considering their bodies are approximately at I'd say 3%, 5% of one for all, or at least I'd say 3% or 5% of one for all. This doesn't mean that they have it, I'm just saying, just think of Izuku's body at that state, without using one for all. Izuku decides not to take the recommendation because he wants to see how weak everyone else is compared to him and Todoroki. And Todoroki decides to take the recommendation letter because he wants to see just how strong he is compared to the quote-unquote elites with recommendations. Because from a young age, Deku and Todoroki have sparred and fought with Endeavor and heroes from his agency. So they have more combat experience than most new heroes, but compared to their older brothers, they are far outclassed, even with their powerful quirks. Due to combat experience and more training, Toya and Natsuo have fully mastered the quirks, allowing them to choose what gets burnt and what doesn't, and they can create flames out of thin air, and can do short bursts of black flames. So I'm going to say that the highest degree of every element is white, but then the second highest is black. Okay, so back to Deku and Todoroki. As Deku approaches the entrance exam, it is not him who falls, but Uraraka. As she falls, Deku catches her and says, "It would be a shame if someone as cute as you were to fall." Uraraka, now blushing bright tomato red, now has those swirly eyes as she tries to say, "Thank you." But by the time she's finished, Deku has already walked away because he thought she was being weird. As Deku walks into the entrance, President Mike is starting his speech explaining the robots for the exam. And Edith stands up and says, "President Mike, how could you forget about the 0-point robot? That'll be a shame if the #1 school UA actually forgot to explain a part of their exam." Deku, being annoyed, says, "You're interrupting the teacher, so why don't you shut up and let him explain it?" Ida, realizing his mistake, says, "Oh, sorry," and bows his head and sits down. As President Mike finishes explaining the exam, they head to the exam room. Deku scores first in the running exam, and then everything else is the same. Just people are one tier lower, because I don't really care about their scores. Now we go to the exam site. As soon as the instructor says go, Deku blasts into the air as he shouts, "Hell's Rain!" and hurls many medium-sized fireballs into the robots, which then catch fire and blow up the surrounding area. Everyone seeing this is astonished, but then they soon realize that he's taking all the robots, so they rush to catch up. But by using that move, he has blocked off a lot of places because his flames have made it where it's too hot to go near those areas. So everybody's pretty much scrambling and fighting over robots because there's barely any left. So Deku has already beaten All Might's score, he's just showing off at this point. Deku is just casually flying and blasting robots when he hears a scream for help. He turns to see, and it's the girl, Araka, the girl he caught, stuck under the rocks as the 0-pointer is walking towards her. Deku, seeing this, immediately coats himself fully in fire and flies over to her at high speeds. And lands, he eats up his hand and punches through the rock as easy if he were cutting paper. Then picks up Uraraka and says, "Flame control, sea of hell." As he uses flames he used to fly, that makes them even bigger as they start to move towards the 0-pointer, as if a giant wave of flames had been moving towards the robot, incinerating everything in its path, destroying the robot and the surrounding area. Deku, realizing how much damage that did, says, "Oh shit, I should probably distinguish that so nobody dies." As he distinguishes those flames, he begins to fly off to the nurse's office to drop off Uraraka. She says thank you, and he says, "No problem, I'd do anything to save a cute girl." Uraraka, hearing this, faints. Deku says, "Hello? Hello? Are you good?" As he goes faster and drops off Uraraka at the nurse's office. Now back to Todoroki. As Todoroki is walking to the recommendation set, he is greeted by Inaza. Because in this what if, Todoroki is going to be more approachable because he's not as cold as in the original. Because he has kinder parents. Inasa says, "Hi, I'm Inasa. What's your name?" "My name's Shota Todoroki." "Oh, you're one of the sons of Endeavor and Frost." "Frost is going to be Inko's hero name." "Yeah, no big deal," says Todoroki. "Are you nervous about the exam?" says Inaza. "No, my older brother told me about it. It's just a dumb race, and I already know I'm going to win, so I'm not stressed." "I wouldn't be too sure about that if I were you," said Inaza. "And who's going to stop me? You?" "Not to brag, but I'm pretty fast myself," said Inaza. "We'll see about that," said Todoroki. As Todoroki and Inaza reach the race site, they both got into race positions. As President Mike said go, Todoroki immediately froze the ground, freezing all the other contestants, and proceeds to boost himself forward with his ice. Inaza, seeing the ice coming, propels himself up with his wind and darts forward. Todoroki, seeing that Inaza is catching up, says, "Ice control, cool the rain." As the ice Todoroki was using to boost himself forward is now being shot at Inasa in the form of medium-sized spears of ice. Inasa slows down and creates a barrier of wind around him. So the ice spears are being redirected off him at the other contestants in the race. Seeing this, Inaza rushes to save them and redirects the spears of ice with the strongest of wind, directing the ice spears to an unused part of the track. But by the time he finishes the race, Todoroki has already finished the race and has grabbed the water from himself and brought in one for Inaza. "I thought you were fast," said Todoroki as he handed a water bottle to a panting Inaza. "I am. You're just too good." "Yeah, I know. Well, you did better than I expected. Not better than me, but adequate, I guess." "Thanks." "See you tomorrow," said Todoroki as he walked away. Next day, Deku and Todoroki walked into class one day. Everyone approaches Deku because they thought his quirk was amazing, but they also want to know who Todoroki is. Inaza approaches Todoroki and Deku because in this what if he decides to go to Yae. Inaza says, "Oh, I didn't know you had a brother, Shoto." "Who's this?" said Deku. Todoroki said, "Oh, he's just someone I met during the recommendation exam." "Oh, so is he strong then?" "Not as strong as us, but he's strong enough." While they're talking, Uraka comes up and taps Deku on the shoulder and says, "Thanks for saving me." "Who's this?" said Todoroki. "She's a girl I saved in the exam." And as they were introducing themselves to each other, a man in a sleeping bag said, "If you're just here to make friends, then you can leave. Put on your gym clothes and go outside." "Who are you?" said the class. "I am your homeroom teacher, Aizawa." As bloodlust started to drip off of Aizawa, everyone just stared at him. Then he said, "Did I stutter? Pack up your shit and go outside for the quirk assessment." Whoever fails gets expelled. Hearing this, everyone but Deku and Todoroki is shocked. When they head outside, they begin the test. The first test is the grip strength test. Everyone else does the exact same, but Deku heats up the metal bar and easily grips it. Todoroki freezes a hand grip and easily grips it. Inaza, when gripping, uses his air currents to help him move the hand grip and easily grips it. I don't remember the squish the side to side or the raise, but they don't really matter. But for the ball throw, Bakugo still gets 705.2 meters. But in this what if, when it's Deku's turn, he catches the ball on fire and blasts it up into the sky, getting 200 kilometers, so 200,000 meters. When it comes to Todoroki, he can coach the ball in ice and shoots it upward, getting 200 kilometers. Now when it's Nasa's turn, he can coach the ball in wind, then gathers multiple air currents and fires it off into the sky. Due to him being able to control the air currents, he gets 100,000 meters or 100 kilometers. Hey guys, honestly, sorry for the late upload. I was supposed to do it yesterday, but my editor crashed, and I've just been playing around with my editor. So yeah, tell me who should be the main heroine, because I was writing part 2, and then I realized that I didn't choose, or I didn't let you guys choose. And also I've decided to let Inaza get one for all. So yeah, bye.